Alright guys, so today we have an interesting person speaking out about this situation with Joe Burrow's injury. No, it's not the Cincinnati Bengals. Instead, it's actually a sports surgeon, Dr. Deepak Chona. Now, he gives his thoughts and opinions a lot on Twitter. He actually goes through a lot of different articles, a lot of different players, says, hey, listen, this guy has a blank amount of chance to re-injure himself. This guy has a chance if he sits out 1 week. Here's what the chance of re-injury is. Here's what the chance of re-injury is after 2, after 3, after 4. Now, again, he is a sports surgeon, so he does have a, credible background to give his thoughts and opinions. But we always do have to keep in mind that every single player's body is different. So, for example, most players that have come out and talked about this injury with Joe Burrow has said that it's weird how it's taken so long for him to recover. For them, it took them 1 week and they were fine. Some players said it took them 2 weeks. But as we know, this injury so far has taken him way more than 1 or 2 weeks. This has actually been, he was out all of July and now he's still hurt in week 3 of this season. Nonetheless, here we have Dr. Deepak Chona, who gave his thoughts on everything. So as the article says, sports surgeon Deepak Chona gave his thoughts on the situation, noting that Burrow has a decent re-injury risk if he plays, but it doesn't go down much with 1 week of rest. As he says here, can play week 3 with a high re-injury risk, 20%. So if he plays this week, Chona says or claims that he has a 20% chance of re-injuring his calf strain if he plays. 20% chance. That's a lot. That's not like, okay, well, 5% chance, 10% chance, potential. No, that's like a good amount of percent chance if he plays, he's going to re-injure himself. Chona posted on X, if it happens, IR likely. Each week of rest lowers the risk, but needs 6 to be less than 10%. So he's saying he needs to be out at least 6 weeks to be less than 10% chance to re-injure himself if, moving forward from this injury. So I'm going to guess that what he's saying then is he needs more than 6 weeks of rest to be fully healthy from this injury. Which, we talked about before many, many times now, what happens if the Bengals go ahead and sit him down for the next 4 weeks. Obviously, you play the Rams, the Titans, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. If you don't play him in any of those games, and then you have your bye week, that's 5 weeks of rest, right? So, in theoretically speaking wise, as the surgeon says here, he needs 6 weeks to be less than 10% injury chance. So 5 weeks would probably be, probably around like 12, 13% chance of injury if he came back. So even if, theoretically speaking, according to the surgeon, again, we're just going based on his words, if we were to rest Joe for the next 5 weeks and go into our bye week, right, and he's obviously still being rested, he could play in a 49ers game after our bye week, get hit by Nick Bosa, and still have a 12% chance to get injured in that game and re-injure himself, and the whole process starts all over again. Okay. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think the calf strain really was this, intense with a grade 1. With a grade 2 or grade 3, it is this intense. It really, truly is. And we did see Wyatt Teller for the Browns come out and pretty much say this exact same concept. He said that, while yes, he did recover and could play after a couple weeks, he was dealing with it the whole entire season. Joe Burrow has really came out and alluded to that too, that this is something that's not going to be going away anytime soon, and he will be dealing with it for the whole entire season, and obviously probably dealing with it going into the postseason. So this is a interesting dilemma. Another part of adversity we're going to have to go through this year is really the chance of re-injuring him every single week he plays. So right now, he is considered day-to-day. He did come out recently and say that he feels a lot better. His calf doesn't feel as bad as Sunday. It's still sore, but it doesn't feel as bad as Sunday. Yesterday, he was in practice. He did some practice yesterday, which is good. Shows that, he's somewhat recovering from his injuries. But It's still not 100%. And he's not going to be 100% anytime soon. He's going to be in the same kind of limbo state probably for the foreseeable future. And there's really no way to get him healthy then. If the surgeon, like I said, is 100% here and truthful and not like, making up anything. And I'm not saying they are, but I want to say one thing. Again, everyone's body is different. This person, the surgeon here, the surgeon here is giving his thoughts based on his expertise and based on his knowledge as a surgeon. But every single person's body is different. I just want to stress that enough that yes, while he says this, it could be less than this, right? It could be less chance of re-injury if he plays based on, his body, not what the surgeon, the surgeon is given an estimate based on what he has seen, right? So it could be more chance. There could be a 50% chance he gets injured and re-injury in this upcoming game, right? Or it could be less than 20%. But based on most NFL players, it's around 20%. So that's crazy. That's really freaking crazy. And as he says, 1 week of rest doesn't really help out at all or change anything. And with the fact that right now we are 0-2, yeah, we got to win a game. This Rams game is a must-win game. That Titans game, and especially, I say Rams game must win because we got to get the first win in the season. That's period. End of story. Blank. You got to get the first win in the season. But I will say, not only that, but yeah, that Titans game is also a must win because those are games that we should be winning this season, right? Those are games against opponents that no team is ever a freebie, let's be honest. No game is ever a free win. But against those teams, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Colts, the Titans, the Vikings, these are games that, are easier, I will say, for us, and not as like Buffalo Bills, AFC North, Kansas City Chiefs, right? These are easier games that we're getting this year, and we got to make sure we take advantage of all those easier games. We can't lose those games, right? So those games are the games where you look at the schedule and we're like, okay, we can win that game, we can win this game, we can win this game. Like, those are those games. So this is going to be interesting. Now, again, I've said many times in my videos, actually, both videos today we talked about this, the quarterback situation. There isn't many options. It's Jake Browning as a backup and then Trevor Siemian. Because Trevor Siemian's the only one else there who knows our offense and can potentially come in and learn it. Now, is it possible, let's say this, upcoming Monday, if we can't go with Joe, is it possible we bring Trevor Siemian for one game as a backup Jake Browning? And then after that, we go out there and sign somebody else? Yes, and then we have a whole week of them learning the playbook as the backup to Jake Browning. That's potentially. But at this moment in time, if, again, just a side note here, if it doesn't work out and, Jake Browning's not the guy, then it's going to be a problem. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one.